I'm very sorry. I my OBS studio did not pick up my mic, so I've just been speaking for over 12 minutes. I've been speaking for over 12 minutes without without you guys hearing nothing. So sorry about that. I'm just gonna explain again what I just explained over 12 minutes. Hopefully it still remains in my head. Uh so basically what I want to do is I want to build a secret vault, right? The secret vault is going to be like my personal Nix-based solution to securely manage, automate uh, my secret in a reproducible uh, infrastructure deployment, right? So I've been wanting to build this project for a while now. It's not really a big project, just a small project, really, just a vault for my secrets. But I've been quite busy with work, and work's been good, by the way, for quite a while now. I've been enjoying it. Uh, been occupied with a lot of stuff, and also been learning quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot actually. So when I get back from work, I'm always like too tired to like do anything. I'm human. Obviously, deep down, I want to get cracking and start you know building stuff, but sometimes you just have to give yourself the rest you deserve after a long day of work. All right, so I I've decided to build this secret vault to basically keep track of my secrets. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, and I have it over here in my basically my personal project uh, management system over here from lab create Nix repo using agenix. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create agenix to I want to create a secret repository for all of my agenix secrets. So it's like a Nix-based solution, just like I said, for managing and automating secrets like password, API keys, and token. So let me give you like an example so you can understand. And it's quite like okay, but what does it do? So let me go over to my configurations. So give me a minute. All right. So as you can see over here, we have a secret folder, and the secret folder contains something called the secret.nix file. So the secret.nix file um, contains public key to my current machine, which is this machine that I'm using to basically stream to you guys. So this is my public key for my root system, and this is my public key for my home user. And down here below, we could see two secret. So we have a secret 2.edge, which is just a test. It's not really doing anything. And then we have a LinkedIn env.edge. So this is a secret for my uh, LinkedIn service. Sorry. So my LinkedIn is a self-hosted bookmarker that I use to keep track of blogs that I visit, websites, and some other interesting uh, things that I don't want to miss out on. I think I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I just love it so much. I just love it so much. I want people to know about it. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I have this service called LinkedIn, right? So it's called LinkedIn, and it is basically a bookmarker. Like as you can see, I use it to bookmark like services that I find quite interesting. Set services, sorry, websites that I find interesting and URL I don't want to miss out on and cool stuff. You could basically just see a lot of you could basically just like search for URL by tags. You could add new websites. You could do a lot, right? So this is currently self-hosted and is running on my system. So this particular service require you to have a username and a password when you configure it, and since I'm using Nix, my username and password um has to be somehow in my configuration. As you guys all know, Nix is a declarative um, distro. Uh, it's like an infrastructure as code, and you need to have a better way to secure your secret in that aspect. Flick.nix file does not use a .env like every other infrastructure as code tools where you could just like pass in your .env and it would pick it up. That doesn't work that well for Nix. The best way to do it is to basically just add code the value to your configuration file. Let me show you an example. So I have a LinkedIn service. This is the configuration for the service I just showed you. Um, this is yeah, this is the configuration. Basically, I rewrote this configuration in Nix. Obviously, there's a Docker Compose file for this, but I don't really use Docker Compose file. When you use Nix, you could basically just uh, use Nix OCI container to fetch the Docker image from the Docker registry, and then you just configure and you could spin it up. So when I just configured this, I had to pass in my username and my password into the environment attribute set, which is very bad, obviously. And this this is not something that we should be doing because when you use Nix, you always have to track your configuration with Git, which means that definitely it's going to end up on GitHub, and you don't want your secret keys to be there on GitHub, right? You need to make sure that they are secure. But what's a much better way to do that? Why? Well, how can we do that? We can't obviously pass in a .env file because if we do, it's like a work. So that is when agenix comes in. So agenix is a small and convenient Nix library for securing, managing, and deploying secrets using common, public, and private encrypted key pairs. You could encrypt the secret, e.g., password, access token, and more, on a source machine using a number of public encrypted keys, and deploy that encrypted secret to another target machine that has a corresponding secret, that has a corresponding encrypted keys of those public key. So that's basically what agenix is. It's just a way to encrypt your keys and share them amongst different machines. And the only way to decrypt those keys is through a public assisted keys. So you could pass in the multiple public assisted keys as far as they are being defined in your secret.nix file. It would use any one of those keys to uh, decrypt the keys to the service and pass them over to the service that needs them. And after that, you could also re-encrypt the keys. So yeah, so today we're going to be building a secret vault that is built on agenix. The reason I want to do this is because a few weeks ago, my mini PC went bad, and I was unable to uh, back up my system. So I lose all of my configurations, my secret keys, my basically everything, right? Which is very bad. A backup should be one of my top priority, but because I am currently not in a position to have a secure backup system yet, I am unable to back up my system. So what really pained me was because I mean I don't really mind that I lost everything because when you use Nix, you could basically just spin up uh, your machine over again because uh, the system is managed in a infrastructure as code type, you know, infrastructure as code type format. But but what really pained me was my agentic secret because I have a bunch of services running on my system and they all rely on that particular secret. But because I already lost the private key, uh, there's no way when I have a new mini PC or when I finally get a new mini PC, there's no way to decrypt those secrets. So yeah, which is bad. So today, like I said, we're gonna be building a secret vault. So let's get cracking. I know I think I talked quite a lot in this video. Sorry about that. Just I'm just what's the word? I'm just trauma dumping on you guys. So yeah, let's build. So apparently the first thing we have to do is have a flick file, right? The flick file is what we use to define the the systems that this secrets the system that this project would could run on basically. We pass in like the input and then we pass in and some other stuff so every other system could make use of it. I don't know a much better way to explain a flick file, but it's just a way to like pin your packages and dependencies. So first we need to put in next packages dot URL and then we point the URL to I think it was GitHub NextOS um, NextOS next packages. So we need this because we want to fetch the we want to fetch our packages um, from the unstable branch, from the next package unstable branch. So we definitely need that. Um, what else do we need? It's been so long since what do you mean undefined? I know I need that. Do I need to pass in this? No, definitely not. I think it's just been, oh, I know why now. Because I need to put this in there. Alright, so now we need to put the path to the URL to agenix because we want to make sure that this is been fetched. Impute dot next packages dot follow um, just say next packages and then we have that. Now we then put the URL equals to GitHub URL GitHub. Nice. So this is the uh, I'd say this is the input and the input contains the URL to the GitHub repository where the agenix package would be fetched from. So now we're gonna pass in the output and we're gonna pass in self. Self basically means that the current system or the current flake, like this particular flake. So we're referencing ourselves as an output, and then we could just say um, all system equals to uh, sorry, whole system is a um, what's the word? Yeah, array of systems. Where can I get this? I think I could get this from my personal flake. What? Oh, sorry. No, I need this. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm not really that good with Nick, so you guys should not mind me. I'm gonna do some mouse movement. Uh, what did I do? I think I did something I'm not supposed to do. Yeah, I'm right, but okay. I think I put that in a, yeah, good. What do you need again? Need a let all system equals to, oh, let all system be all system. I'm thinking it's something. Once you pass in a let, I think it requires a in. And then we need to put in like an expression. What do you mean an expression? You mean this? And then we need to close that off. God, I feel like I'm new to Nix. Come on, I'm using you for a while now. Um, nixpkg.lib. Let's generate attribute set for all systems and system. Huh? Yep. Now that makes sense. And then we then reference, we have a function arguments, and we say packages equals to import self, no, import self dot input dot next package. So now we are referencing this because we would need some packages, and in order for us to be able to fetch the packages, we need to reference the inputs that we pass in here. So what we're saying now is for all the system and for all of these systems that we define, we want to import uh, the next packages so we could be able to use them. So basically, this flick would allow this configuration to run on any system as far as they are defined under the all system. Uh, all system array. Should I call it array or should I call it attribute set? Don't know. Don't know. So now we inherit systems. Inherit system and then we do config dot allow. I think I need my glasses. Config dot allow and free um, to be equals to true. And then what do we do next? We have this, and then we have this. Nice. So we're done with the outputs. We pass in self, which is the current flick that we're in, and we have a let to pass in all systems, which is all the systems that this configuration is allowed to run on. For example, if we remove Darwin, meaning the system would not run on an Arch system. Um, sorry, it would not run on a Mac OS. And then we have a function that basically loops through all the uh, systems and um, import Nix packages so that they could be able to use it. And in here, we create a dev shell. This dev shell is to make sure that whenever we have a new system that wants to use this configuration, we could automatically download the necessary packages without them having to, uh, download them by themselves. So we're just gonna do that. Sorry, so bad at theme. Alright, good. So we have a default equals to pkgs dot make shell. And we could say the packages that we want to install is we want to use the packages that we define above to install git and also nixd. So obviously git is very important when it comes to Flake, and also nixd is the language server for Nix. And then we also want to install some other things like self dot input, and we need agenix, which we have defined above. We're just gonna say we need agenix packages dot um, still like a string interpolation packages dot system and dot default. Am I doing something wrong? No, self dot output is formatter dot just say packages dot systems. Alrighty, so I think we're good on that. We have to make sure that we close and we close and we close. Perfecto. So now we have our development environment for the secrets. We pass in the agenix and then we pass in a default output uh, formatter. So now we're going to define our um, what's the word? So we're gonna define our formatter. Okay, kinda. I think it's nice. I think it's this one. Is it? Save. Not sure if it's the one, but okay, it is. Then we're gonna have a formatter, which would be for all the systems we want to packages. Dunno, to do packages dot Jandra. This is a Nix formatter. I mean, there are other Nix formatters, but I don't know why. I think I think Alejan Alejandra has like a more um better way of formatting the Nix config. Alright, so I think we're good with the flick.nix file. So now we have a flick.nix file. We've defined the agenix that we want, and then we've also defined the URL for the next repository where we want to fetch the required packages that we need, like Gates and NixD and Alexand Alexandra, and we're good with the flake. So what we're gonna do now is, now that we have the flake, we're gonna create something called secrets, or we could just do like since this is a secret anyways, we just do secret dot nix. Now we have a secret.nix, and now secret.nix would mm, let's let's get ideas from like my previous. Send this over to 3 to bring this back, go to 2. Good. So I used to have one. Secret.nix. There we go. Alright, so for now we only have one system, which is my current system. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna say uh, current system. No, sorry. Um, what's the word? We could say I'm trying to remember. Root as a key, root public key. So the name over here has to match the name of your system. Not necessarily, but if you have like more than one system, imagine all of them being named NixOS. So you need to make sure that the name that you pass in there basically is the name of the current system that you have. So if you have like more than one system, then you would want to um, use the host name for each of the system. So for me, my current system host name is NixOS, so I pass in NixOS. Let's assume I have another system like Wales, like Wales Jar. I could say Jar. Then obviously I would pass in like the SSH key for Wales, and then maybe more like more system. But now I only have one, so I think that's enough. Um, so let's do a hin so we don't get screamed at by Nix. Good. And yeah, like I said, you pass in your root user, and then you pass in your um, home user or public SSH key. Yeah, SSH key, and I'm just gonna pass in. Oh shit, sorry. I'm not too good with Veeam, but I mean I've seen quite good improvements over the past few days that I've been using it. That I've been like consistent with it. So hopefully I get better at it. I'll get better at it. So so yeah, this is my root user, and then this is my home user. Each of them has their own SSH keys. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna create a oh god, I'm gonna create uh, a set to contain like all of my users. I have code and it's just not leaving me alone. And then I have users. Then we have the users, which is the one we define. As you can see, because we're gonna have more than one user, that's why we have to put them in a set this way. So for example, let's say we have Wales again, Wales, Jaha, then we have the SSH key for Wales in there, uh, like that. So yeah, if we later have Wales, and or let's say for the home user also we pass in like Wales got our and then this is like the SSH key for uh, the user for Wells. What we could then do is we could then go to the system and just pass in Wells, and then we could go to the user and then pass in Wells. So if we do it this way, this means that the key that we're gonna have, both Wells and the introvert, would be able to encrypt and decrypt this key because they've like been passed in like quote unquote admin. So uh, any user or root user you pass in the SSH keys would be able to decrypt and encrypt this key, which is pretty safe. So this means that we can always come back and add more user. Like the more our system grows, the more we have machines to config. The more our machines grow, uh, we could always manage the keys with this file if we want to. And then now we go to in here. This is where we, I'd say, create our keys, or let's say define our keys. So we define the keys that we want in here, and when we define the keys in here, and then we run agenix, agenix would automatically create this key and open a text editor where we could then put the credentials that we want to put. So for a test, let's do secret, let's do secret one dot age again, and let's just do pass in public keys because as we all know, uh, agenix uses the public key to uh, decrypt the keys, so it needs to cross-check your public key with your private key. So we need to make sure that we have a public key. So we pass in public key and we pass in system and user. The reason why we do this is because we're telling Agenix that we want both the system and the user to be able to encrypt and decrypt this key. If we don't want the user to be able to do anything, we just could basically just remove the user and only the system will be able to do that. But then would have to delete the user if you want to. If this is a very maybe sensitive key that you don't just want anybody to have access to, then definitely you can just say users. So only the user, so only the system and the user would be able to encrypt this key. What I taught before was that when you pass in like a plus plus like this, it's combining the keys into one and then using that to decrypt the key. But no, don't get confused. What this means is that both the system and the user could, any one of them could encrypt and decrypt the key. So for a test, we're gonna have this, and I think that should be it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run agenix, and then you would see it's going to automatically detect like this key and would tell us to put in the secrets that we want to put in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do nix run. I forgot the command, but I think it's not this one. It is nix run. Let's do nix run. Yeah, it's this one. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna delete this. So we have to make sure that we pass in the name of the key that we want to encrypt, right? For example, in our case, we want to encrypt secret one, right? So we're gonna do secret one age, and then when we run this now, sorry, I'm just gonna do that. What's going on? Yep. So when we run that, you would see we are going to fetch the required packages that we want to fetch, and yeah, let's wait. So let's just chat why this downloads. So yeah, it's been a while. I haven't been able to do much, but I'm happy I'm doing this actually. I don't know. It's something I've always been wanting to do for a while now. I mean, it's just there in my backlog, but I've just been finding the time to do this. Oh, looks like we have a problem somewhere. Yeah, So the reason we're getting these is because, like I said, Nix always needs to track your configuration file. So if you don't, if the file is not added to Git for some reason, yeah, it's not gonna build. It's not gonna build. So we need to make sure that we add our configuration to Git. And as you can see now, it's been added, and if we do Nix run again, it's gonna work. So the reason why this is because uh, I really don't know like I really don't know like the underlying reason why why Nix uses uh, Git, but I think there's a reason behind it, and I forgot. I do know, but I think I forgot. But yeah, you need to make sure that your Nix file is tracked with Git. This way, it's reproducible, and then it gets to be the system with it. So now when we run this again, we get another error, and that says that secret.nix does not exist. Uh, oh, okay. So what happened is, I think it's the way I named the file. So it's looking for a secret.nix file, but it found a secret.nix file instead of a secrets.nix file, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna rename this to secrets, and there we go. I think it should work now. Um, trying again. There we go. So as you can see, we get a temporary file, uh, and you can see it points to a secret one.h file. So whatever we put into this file is gonna get encrypted, right? So the only person that would be able to decrypt this key is your uh, public SSH key that you pass in. And if you pass in more public SSH keys, then they would all be able to decrypt and encrypt these keys. So I'm just gonna put um, I don't know, environment equals to dev, and I'm just gonna put uh, user name equals to the introvert, and I'm just gonna put password equals to password. Haha, look at that. I'm just gonna put this in, but that's it. Password, username, the introvert, and when you save that, it's gonna get saved, and immediately you exit this file, it's gonna create a secret one.age key. I call it a key, but you can call it file if you want it. So now we're just gonna exit, and once we exit, if we go back to the top, you could see we have a secret one.h file. So this secret one.h file contains all the credentials. So we could push this to GitHub, we could do whatever we want with it. That no one would be able to see the value inside. Like you could see the value inside, but no one would be able to see the actual value. Because it's already like you see, it's already like encrypted. So no matter what, I don't know who the hell is gonna read that. So yeah, um, as you can see, the key as SSH keys. Like this is the SSH keys for just your root user and your home user. So this basically means that both of them can decrypt the key. So the more SSH keys you had, the more this file would basically grow, and they will all be able to see these keys. So yeah, that's it. And what I'm just gonna do now is I'm going to yeah. So that's basically it. Um, I think okay. Uh, but one more thing. So let's say we want to change the value in this secret key for some reason. Maybe uh, we want to change a password or we want to change a username. How could we do this? Well, all we just have to do is run this command again, and it's going to open up the text editor for us right there. And once the text editor has been opened up, sorry, once the text editor has been opened up, what we just need to do is change whatever it is we want to change. We could just say, okay, password equals to password. Sorry, I forgot this is not Vim for some reason. I don't know why I thought this is Vim. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know how this works. Exit. No. So let's start again. So as you can see, secret one wasn't changed. Skip re-encryption. This is because we did not change anything, right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it again, and we're going to make some changes, right? We're going to say password equals to password new. What the? Don't know why this is this way. Yeah, password equals to password new. Just say new, and we save that, and we exit. And as you can see, it says the secret.h file from before and the secret.f file now. There's a difference, right? Obviously, there's a difference. And if you go back to inner, you would see. I don't know if you were able to remember, but I think this key also changed in a way. It's not the same one as before. So now currently your key is has been decrypted, but we need to encrypt it over again. Now to do that, we're just gonna run the next run. I think it was rekey. Yeah. So this would basically find all of the agenix secret that you have, and then would rekey them again. When you do that, you could see it says rekey in secret.h file, and there we go. It's been rekeyed. It's been encrypted again. And I think that's it. Maybe there's some other thing I want to do. Like that's basically everything about it. Basically, you don't really need much. But the benefit of um, how do I explain this? So yeah, now we have it, right? It's a vault. You could include multiple keys, but then let's assume we want to use this key in our system. Like how do we make use of these keys in our system? Well, in order to do that, we are going to create something called we're going to create something called a secret.nix file. So I think it depends on the service that I want to use this key, right? So let me go to my one of my hosts, NixOS. Let's go to secret.nix. So as you can see in here, if you want to use this particular key, you have to create a secret.nix file in your host folder. The secret.nix file will point to age, and then will point to your secret in here. As you can see, I have a secret 2, just like I have a secret 1 over here, and secret 2 uh, is an attribute set that takes in the path to my age file, just like this. So you're going to create a secret.nix file that points to the age file that you have. So in our case, we could create a dummy test. Let's say we do, I don't know, host, and then we just create like inside the host, we create a secret.nix file. Um, Good. Now we have a secret.nix file. What we're just gonna do is we're gonna do age equals to, then we're gonna say secrets, which is also an attribute set, and we're going to are we good? Are we good? No. So this good. So this is the format. Age secret points to age secret, and then the secret, which is secret one, equals to an attribute set files. Now we're gonna point this over to our um, secret1.h file like that. And then we're just gonna say owner equals to, we could say the introvert. So so one thing about this is, let me explain this. So this is making sure that the current host that is using this key um, can get access to these keys. But the reason why we define an owner in here is because uh, just basically just security reason. Maybe we don't want any other owner to be able to make use of this secret key. We only want a user called the introvert to be able to make use of this key. Then we could pass in that, but this is quite optional. I don't really do this unless the key is like very important to me. That's when I do. That's when I do this. But if the key is not very important to me, I just leave it blank. So any user could access this key as far as they have the public and private as far as they have the public and private associated keys. I'm good. Uh, so what else? So yeah, I'm just gonna show you how make use of this key. For now, I'm not going to integrate this key into my system. I mainly just create the vault. I'll push the vault to GitHub, and I would reference it in my flick.nix file, and I would see how that goes. But before that, I'm going to show you how to make use of this key. So if you go over to my secret.nix file, as you can see, I've defined the LinkedIn service, and my LinkedIn service specify me as the owner, meaning only uh, the home user uh, can make use of this key, and also the real user basically can also make use of this key. And I specify a part. So the reason why I specify a part is because this way, if I want to quickly see the credentials for my key, I could go to this part in my home folder, and I'll be able to see this key. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but if it's not really a highly sensitive key that you want to, I don't know, if it's just something that you feel like you can do, I'd say okay, maybe do this. That way you don't have to like decrypt the key just to see the values each time. And now I want to make use of this key. I'll go to my modules and LinkedIn. Yeah, so now I have my keys, which is my secret. Sorry. Now I have defined my keys. My secret key has been created, and I have a secret.nix file that specifies the paths to my keys and the and some other permissions. And now I want to make use of it. So if I want to reference this key in any of my services and or any of my applications, just like this LinkedIn service, all I just have to do is uh, environment file equals to the path to my key. But what is the path to my key? In my case, what I did was I have a configuration.nix file that I have a configuration.nix file, and you can see the configuration.nix file as an option to enable the LinkedIn service. And then, as you can see, I passed in the paths to the key config age secret.linkedin.path. So what this does is this basically pass in the paths to the secret.age file to this service, so the service will be able to make use of it. It's basically as simple as that. Um, and yeah, that's basically all about it. Um, but let's make this more of a vault. Let's create one more key. Let's just say we want to create a secret2 secret. Let's give it an actual service. Let's say minor S3. Let's say you have a S3 service running on your system. You're just gonna do public keys equals to systems plus plus users. That way, oh sorry, users. So now we've defined our second key. Now we want to put in the key. If we want to put in the key, we're just gonna do next run again. Just do our next run, and then we would have the name of the key, which would be minor s um, s3. I think that's it. Minor s3. When we when we run that, why did we get an error? Come in. I don't think that's the name. MINIOS3. Oh, sorry, my bad. I did not pass in the age. Good. So now when we run this again, you see it tells us to put the keys for minor. I forgot what credentials the minor use, but maybe it uses a username. Username. You just say the introvert again. And then we just say password equals to my password is hacked. Yeah. Now we save and we close. And if we go back in here, you would see that we have a minor secret encrypted key. So we could push this over to GitHub. No one will be able to read it, only the service that you specify will be able to make use of it. And now we're done. We want to maybe make changes to the key. We would run it again, and we would change the username from the introvert to um, the introvert hacked. Uh, and we save again and we close. As you can see, it tells us that hey, your keys from before and your keys now, there's a difference. You made some changes to it. I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's alright. I know. Well, let's rekey. Now, if you want to rekey, you do next run, and then we have a rekey. No, next run, we have a rekey. And then as you can see, it says rekey in minor S3 and rekey in secret 1. So that's it. And what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to push this over to GitHub. So I'm going to have to create a new repository for myself. Let's go and create a repository. Let's just do me profile repository, new repository. Let's just call this secret vault, secret vault, secret vaults. And then we're just going to, yeah, I think that's all we need. And yeah, create repository. Oh, owner, I'm the owner. Yeah. So now we have our stuff. Let's push these over to um what's GitHub. Git origin art blah blah blah. Let's go there. Good. Remote. I think it's git remote v. Good. Now we have it. I have this. We're just gonna push to the main branch. Git push origin main. We just do git push. Actually, it's new. Let's just do that. Oof. Now, okay, we didn't do. Don't know why it needs us to do that all the time. Oh man, come on, come on, come on. Okay, I forgot. I don't know how to resolve this. Failed to push some ref to GitHub, blah blah blah. Don't know. Can you help me? Can you help me? No, sorry, not that. Sometimes I forget the git command. My bad. I like something. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm just stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm supposed to jcommit, let's say features, configure, um, configure Unix vault. We could just do that. Good. Good. Now we have everything in GitHub. If we go over to GitHub, we close this out because obviously we don't need you anymore. We'll refresh that. Good. Now we have our stuff in GitHub successfully, and I actually don't want to push the host file, so I'm just gonna remove this. Good. And yeah, just gonna remove that. And let's say we want to modularize this, right? Let's say we don't want to have all our keys in one long directory. Well, we could just create a new folder, call it uh, minor s3, minor s3, and just do that. And instead of minor s3, we could go over to, what's the name? Secret.nix file. And we could do something like, I think we could specify a part. I can't remember how I used to do it, but I know you could specify a part. Secrets.nix file. What was it? I think if we do like minor s3 slash minor s3.age, maybe like dot slash something like that. Uh, yeah, we could do something like this, and I think yeah, we could do something like this, and I think when we go back and we do next run, and we yeah, I think it's just a parsing like the full parts to it, so we could do some like parsing like this to it. Copy that. Let's do this. Yeah, now we're gonna put in a key, username, equals to the introvert. The introvert, and just put password. Hugged. Hugged. We save that and then we do quit. Sorry. And now if we go back to You could see if we go into mine your S3, now we have a new key inside of that folder. So that's a much better way for us to like modularize it so we don't get confused each time. So now I'm just gonna push this over to GitHub again. Just gonna do git push, sorry, git commit. Hmm. There we go. So now if we go back to in here and then we refresh, we have our new miner, and then we have the keys, which obviously no one can read, and we have miner again right there. So now we're good. So that's how to create the secret that you need, and that's my secret vault, and my secret vault is what I would be using throughout my configurations going forward. But before, let me show you how to import secrets so that next time, um, give me a minute. So now we have a secret and GitHub, and let's say we want to make use of it. We don't want to create a secret folder inside our root, inside our main configuration because we just don't want to do it. We want to fetch it instead. Well, we could do that. We just have to go to the main flick.nix file for our system, and we'd have to specify. Let's go under S. We could do like just go to secrets equals to. I'll just like put the path to my, just say URL equals to. I'm gonna go over to my GitHub. I'm gonna get the parts to my secret key. Get that. I'm gonna go back in here. Just gonna do the GitHub. GitHub. I'm just gonna do introvert blah blah blah. So it's my secret. Fetch my secret from this and flake false. And that's how we could make use of our secrets. So now if you want to use a secret, we could always make use of it in our system that way. So yeah, so that's all about this project. I hope you guys enjoy. I know there's a lot of like well, I haven't done this before like this. This is my first time like teaching someone else to like do something like this. I'm not an expert. I'm not that I'm not like a Nix pro. I'm still learning, and um I'm so proud of this. So yeah, that's all about this, guys. Thank you for watching, and and what else? Yeah, love you guys. If you need to do the same thing, feel free to just get my to clone my repo and just change like a few things in the secret.nix file, maybe the message keys, and you could define yours, and you could also maybe change a few things in the over